the best for last today, just because it's always special. A unique friendship, a unique relationship that we've kind of forged over the years. As the first time I crawled up to this man on my hands and lower stumps and tapped him on his ankle, and I said, "Mr. Steinberg, I'm a big fan of yours, and I want to talk to you and say hi to you." And you're so magnanimous and just genuine, and it's like so cool, so thanks again. The super agent Leigh Steinberg, Superman is what he truly is. So thank you, Leigh, for joining me. And your old hat at these Radio Row Super Bowl kind of things. I mean, after us having to be virtually in Tampa last year, it's got to be nice to kind of see these faces, run into Jake Plummer, these kind of people. My fault. See, operator error. There we go.
Part of the fun of Radio Row is the fact that you've got, older retired players. You have people coming for a variety of different causes, and it's an opportunity to visit with people.
So we've got a big week ahead. You've got your party on Saturday, and again, you call it a party, but it's more of a celebration of technology and education. And it's not the party that you think of, but there's a lot of great people that are going to be there. So give us a little bit about what's going on with some of these things with Elon Musk and stuff that you guys have that's going to be there.
So last time the Super Bowl was here in Los Angeles, we used 20th Century Fox as our meeting place. It was the old New York from Hello Dolly. And this time we're using Sony Studios, which ironically is where we filmed part of Jerry Maguire. And among other things, we're having a brain health summit. And we bring neurologists from across the country and other people with a stake to see if we can find a way to prevent, raise awareness for, and cure concussion-related injuries, TBI.
And it's truly important because most of your clients, when you play in the NFL, you're going to deal with those situations, and it's extremely important, especially with this technology. I've had Kyle Turley, I've had Chris Long, I've had all these people talk about cannabis as a way to help. And we're so old school that we're just against things that can help us if they think it's a drug, but everything in moderation can sometimes help.
Well, I want you to remember that since pain is an ever-present part of the sport of football, that right now what they use for pain is opiates. And then you've got the whole problem with opiate addiction. And so any alternative to that, I think, is something that we need to be exploring. But anyway, we'll be showing hyperbaric oxygen. We'll be showing the stem cells, a whole variety of modalities. And then we give awards for humanitarian service, philanthropic awards. There's so much focus on athletes in trouble. And if we can highlight the fact that people in football do amazing things. And so we're giving one to the general manager of the Rams, Les Snead and Tom Telesco of the Chargers. And incidentally, we're giving a special inspiration award to a former football player who's now a broadcaster named Dave Stevens.
Don't even get me going there. I'm so humble. I can't believe it. Little old me here. I mean, that's what you are all about. You're so much about giving, and all of your former athletes. It was funny. Jake Plummer sitting here as you walk by, and he's like, what you instilled in him. And I know this is what you do differently than most of the agents is you teach them the fundamentals of giving back, to be a good person, to make sure that, when you go into a room, you look around and pay attention to everybody. I've heard that so many times that comes from you.
Well, we teach networking, how to go up to someone, talk to them for 5 minutes, and then write on the back of it, on the card, middle-aged man with boil on his nose who owned a metal company or whatever it is. But you're trying to get players to retrace their roots, Dave. Go to the high school, back to that community, lay down roots, and set up a scholarship fund or work with a church or Boys and Girls Club. And then at the next level, you're trying to have them do the same thing at the college and bond back. So Troy Aikman repaid his whole scholarship to UCLA. And then at the Pro City, a charitable foundation with the leading business figures, political figures, and community leaders on a board that executes a program. And so it's work done putting the 175th single mother and his family in the first home they'll ever own by making the down payment and moving them in. Or it's Patrick Mahomes with his 15 and the Mahomes. But athletes can make an amazing difference in the world. They can also message. So the heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis, who I worked with, cut a public service announcement that said, "Real men don't hit women." And that could do more to cure the domestic violence tendencies of young men than 1,000 authority figures ever could.
And what you're doing, it's not just at the level where you teach these athletes, but you've got a whole symposium where you're teaching the next agents, and you're teaching them, because agents get such a bad rap. We're just out the money. We don't care about the talent. It's like, let's get the most we can for the 5 years they're playing. But you're also trying to set them up to teach them about money, how to handle it, how to invest, things to stay away from. So talk a little bit about the programs that you're also, like, you have so many of these virtually, you have them in person, that is also shaping the way for Leigh Steinberg Sports.
So I made a commitment to try and mentor the next generation of sports agents, sports professionals with ethics and values and the skill set. So we actually have them do a mock negotiation.
Agents have ethics? They really do?
You better have ethics, yes. You can, as an agent, make a real difference in individual players' lives, and together we can target domestic violence and bullying and racism and sex trafficking and the environment. Sports can lead the way in all of those things. So we're trying to train the next generation. They do a mock negotiation. They do a mock recruit. They set up a charitable foundation. They do a variety of different things. We also have a sports career conference, which has an hour on media, an hour on people who want to work for a team, a league, a conference in the front office, an hour in branding and marketing. And so it's to create this next generation of people that will make sports better.
How do you teach these athletes now, though, with cell phones capturing every moment of their life, that those 7 seconds, which is now our attention span on this TikTok world, but it's not like the old days where you could drink or do things. It's like, how do you educate these athletes to not make these bad choices, so one stupid DUI or something like that just totally obliterates all the hard work you guys have put in as a team?
So the best cure is prevention, and it's having an honest discussion with a player and explaining to them that they're playing a sport that is giving them a high standard of living and a lot of advantages, but they're going to be held to a higher standard. So they can't go out and drink and get into a car. They can't go out to a place which serves alcohol and get into a fight. They have to be careful with their relationships with women. And it's by stressing those things ahead of time and planning for situations where there would be a risk that you're able to cut it off at the pass and get these players used to having a designated driver, having friends around them when they go to a bar, being careful in their relationships with women, and all the rest.
Well, I know you got to go. I want to thank you for just stopping by for a little bit. We'll probably talk a little more Saturday if I can snag you for 5 minutes or so. But hey, it took 26 Super Bowls to finally be able to come to one of your parties, and I got to win some award that is just I feel separate from myself.
The Steinberg Dana Cola Humanitarian Award that highlights what people like you do off the field to make a difference, and the whole concept of a disability network that inspires people. I'm admire you for that.
I admire you for what you do. John Steinberg is joining our family for podcasts. So one hand helps wash the other, and we continue to do good things.
Well,
Leigh Steinberg, my legacy is Ability Media, and Steve, Mr. Steinberg's legacy is just, making these athletes learn the best way to be an athlete, so you can get an autograph, grab a picture, and just embrace what they are, because they're so important to our culture and everything like that. And you're making these guys, and
the one good thing about having John Steinberg is that instead of my squeaky voice, you have deep, mellifluous tone. He's got a great voice for radio.
And we got Matt itching in the wings too, another super agent in the wings that you're building in, and your daughter doing great things.
Yeah.
So Leigh, thank you. I know you got to get going, but it's let me reach over in our little fake world and say thank you. That's my hand, and Leigh, that's us. So you can say hi. And thank you, Leigh. And I appreciate your time. Dave Stevens here on Radio Row, the legendary Show Me the Money, the man, the myth, the legend, right here with us. And again, a great philanthropic, I'm not even going to say that, philanthropic, blah, blah. He does a lot of charity work. It's been a long day. I was up playing football all night long last night. So Dave Stevens right here on Radio Row. The hits keep coming. Stay tuned. I'm not sure who's walking around. I just saw Michael Irvin. We can see if I can grab him, my old ESPN buddy. You're watching and listening to Radio Row Live. Don't forget, Ability Media is also out there doing great things. And I got to say thank you to my sponsors, Pro Stance, because they have great products. Now we've got the new rubber ones, which is for indoor training. So you can get these, go to prostance.net. And of course we have the regular feet plates that we have. Again, it is such a great tool that you can use for baseball. You can use it for golf. You can use it indoors for basketball. You can use it for yoga. You can use it for old people just wanting to work out and get their feet. You can even learn line dancing with these things. You slap a couple of these babies down on the floor, and you got your two steps and your boot scooting boogie out there. So again, thank you for Pro Stance. Thank all of you for your support. Ability Media, Dave Stevens Speaks. Follow us. The Facebook got hacked, so we got to rebuild. But we'll check in with you later. Again, a great week right here on Radio Row. Will continue to bring you the stars. Stay with us. This is Dave Stevens on Ability Media and the Ability Media Network with the Disability Channel and Watering Seeds and all the people we're bringing along. I'll see you in a little bit.